Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to episode, who knows? Oh, we're in double digits, maybe 11. 11. We're in double digits since last time, but this time it's no zeros. Anyway, so Ian and us only again. We were lined up with a good guest. Good guest with a interesting guest.
Very special.
But, yeah. But we couldn't make it due to scheduling conflicts.
Should we keep it a secret?
Yeah. Maybe
Let's keep it a secret.
We'll just build it up. Next
I was
week.
super excited, and then I was super heartbroken, but not really, but kind of.
Yeah.
When we had to postpone.
It's okay.
Because I was excited.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not.
If he goes somewhere, we gotta move shop.
That's a hint.
The cat's out of the bag, like they say. Whatever. There are some expressions that I don't understand, like those old-fashioned expressions that are very frowned upon in 2024, like the cat's out of the hat, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. Why is that frowned on?
Well, what bag are we talking about? Like, why was the cat in the bag in the first place?
I'll do some research and I'll come back.
Very nice. Do some research while you're on cats. There's only so many ways to skin a cat. The fuck is that supposed to mean?
I have a dude that I watch YouTube shorts.
You're like in Seinfeld.
He
Everybody
has
a dude.
He comes up. He'll bring up things like that, expressions, and it will explain where they came from.
Dude. And then there's the other one.
So interesting.
I don't have a dog in this fight.
I love that.
We all use it though. We all use it. But ask Michael Vick how that worked out for him. Anyway, I got it out of my system.
I used to be friends with his cousin. His cousin worked as his manager. He used to come into a bar that I worked, and he was loaded, but he was very cool, super cool. I can't remember what his name was. This is in Virginia Beach. Shout out Michael Vick's cousin who used to come out to Envy Bar and Grill.
Nice.
But when the dog thing happened, I didn't see him around anymore.
For real?
Yeah.
Brought shame to the family. Or maybe he was also involved in that shit, bro.
I imagine probably not, but
hopefully not.
But he was, like I said, he worked for Michael. He worked for his cousin. He was like his
like
manager.
Yeah.
Whatever, consultant, whatever. And that was his main source of income. And this dude was loaded. Like I said, he was a man about town. But when that happened, he lost his income, which was sad.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
I was happy, since you did bring it up really quick. When Michael Vick was released from jail or whatever, there was a lot of people I remember that were mad. All they could think about was the crime that he committed, which I get, and it was horrible, but he did spend like a considerable amount of time. He lost his fortune. He spent some time in jail or whatever, and he did seem, I don't know if the word is contrite. He seemed sorry.
Yeah,
So I felt good that he was on his way out of jail.
Yeah. Well, you gotta be happy. You gotta be happy if actually jail worked or prison time worked. But this is something that you've been doing for years, most likely. I have no idea. I didn't follow the lawsuit, the case, but I'm assuming he's done it for years, or at least for months. Let's not say years, because we don't know.
He was enmeshed in it to where it wasn't like he did it once.
Exactly.
Okay, he was definitely.
I don't know. I can't bring myself up to watch a dog fight.
Dude, it's horrible. Me either.
Yeah.
I've never seen a dog fight. I might have seen pieces of it.
Yeah, to organize that thing, and sometimes you will see pieces of them, like you say.
Right.
But to organize that,
cockfights the same thing.
Cockfights, same thing. Yeah. So,
but look how big bullfights are different. It's different, but it's still savage.
Not to be excused, but it's different. It's just not the same thing.
Yeah.
You're not really
pitting animals versus animals. Yeah. With that being said, we used to have some discussions on which animal would win, but in the wild. But then we also put him in a cage. Remember once we put and that didn't happen. So there was no savagery involved. It was just imagination.
Oh, that's a hypothetical savagery.
It was right.
Hypothetical savage. Exonerated. Like it never happened, which it didn't happen. Obviously, I'm just saying.
What would a shark or a polar bear? Well,
which ocean are they in? Is there a slab of? Is there some ice like You know, where the bear can actually, you know. That's interesting, though. A shark or a polar bear in the water. Polar bears are great swimmers.
I don't know how great they are underwater.
Sharks.
When they're fighting for when they're fighting for survival. I mean, if it's sharks are big.
They hunt seals underwater, no? Or they can't catch a seal underwater.
I
That's
don't think
bullshit.
so. I mean, I'm sure they can swim underwater, but it's only for a second. They're not. Well, I don't know how long they can hold their breath.
Somebody looks at my browser history. It's gonna be, can a polar bear catch?
I'll keep my cast.
Catch a seal? No, not that. I mean, underwater.
Oh, Moana 2's coming out. I'm joking.
Videos. Oh shit! Videos of can a polar bear catch? Oh shit! So there are videos of those.
Isn't that crazy?
Attempts to hunt seal in open water. If they attempt, that means that it's happened. They've done it.
I just wonder how long they can hold their breath. And also, they're going to be fighting a shark. They're not. They're chasing a seal.
Yeah, that's the thing. Once in the water, seals are agile and swift swimmers, which makes it difficult for polar bears to catch them.
I'm sure.
But the seals often position themselves near the edge of ice floes or close to their breathing holes, allowing for a quick escape into the water if a polar bear approaches. With that being said, they look, no offense to any seals, but they look so fucking dumb.
Well, they're super cute and they're not threatening looking.
Their self-preservation instinct seems like long gone, man. It's like,
and they're kind of fat.
They got nothing but enemies except for the little fish that they eat.
I don't know about enemies. They've got predators.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the polar bear is like, I hate that seal. That polar bear is like, I love that seal. I want to put that seal inside of me.
Take it easy now. Choice of words.
Four cauliflower ears.
Do you want to refresh that, or should we just go on?
Go.
Yeah.
You could edit it in post. We could edit it if it's.
I'm not editing anything. You know, I leave it all in.
Punk rock.
But here's the thing. So the UFC, the next big UFC coming up is the 308 in a couple of weeks, and its main event is Ilia Topuria versus Holloway.
Yes.
I know that Holloway is your boy. But I'm wondering, what is your honest opinion on who's going to win, without considering that there's a puncher's chance for both of them?
Sure.
Because we know there is.
Sure.
While you're answering that, I'm going to look up the odds. Don't look in the computer.
Okay. I definitely... Max Holloway is magical with his fighting. And I would never bet my heart against Max Holloway. If you force me to bet money, though, I would probably follow what I'm sure the line is going to be, and I'm sure Max Holloway is. I don't know how considerable of an underdog he is, but I bet you it's more than 2-1.
Bro, it's this weekend, next weekend.
It's next weekend.
On the 8th. 8 days from now.
Yes.
No, 8 days and 18 hours. Well, that's because it's not 8 days. Because today is Wednesday. It's actually more than, it's like 9 days or whatever. But it's
Saturday.
It's in where are they fighting?
Oh, it's in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, yeah, that's why. Yeah. Let's see.
So they're going to be for them to be fighting in Abu Dhabi. And for them to have it at a decent hour, broadcasting it here, they're going to be fighting like
11 a.m. The card starts at 11 a.m. The card, the whole card starts at 11 a.m.
That's early for a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think it's normal for.
I wonder what time it. What time is it there? I wonder. Because I thought it would be. I thought it would be shown a little bit later than that.
Let's see.
That's 11 a.m. Eastern time or Pacific?
No, Pacific. Our time here, yeah.
Okay.
Pacific.
So that means it's 3 hours earlier in New York, huh?
Yeah.
So pretty much, no one's going to watch this pay-per-view.
Yeah, on the East Coast, it's going to be like 8 a.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be, the viewership is going to be super low.
Yeah. So I mean,
the same thing happened with Francis Ngannou's fight against Tyson Fury. Remember I told you a story about when Chael Sonnen upset me in an argument against Ariel Helwani? They were arguing about that fight. That was one of the issues they were arguing about. Why that pay-per-view was such a small viewership. Was it because no one wants to watch Francis Ngannou, which is the UFC narrative, or was it because it was shown so early because it was fought in Abu Dhabi, which is why I think it was. And Chael kind of went. It just made no sense to me because he made like 10 million plus off of that fight, which we were stoked about. But anyway, back to Holloway and Ilya.
Well, Ilya is minus 265. Holloway is plus 215. That's a big favorite.
That's a big favorite
for a main card.
That's better than 2-1, I think.
Topuria is in his prime and he's champion, so that also makes sense.
What are the age differences? Max is what? Max is like he's an old, young age. He's younger than what I thought.
I'll tell you right now.
I'm gonna guess 33.
Holloway is. I don't know. It doesn't say it here. I'm gonna
and Ilya is probably in his.
Topuria is 27.
Yeah, I was gonna guess 26.
I think Holloway is older than that.
You think he's older than 33?
33, I think so. Yes. I think Holloway is. Holloway was born in 91. Oh, yeah. 91, 33.
33? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know that...
He's been through some wars, but he's older than what you think because of what he's been through.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. In
33,
in MMA,
that's young. Yeah. That's
Topuria is...
mature. That's maturing.
Topuria is 15-0, and Holloway is 26-7.
Okay, and 3 of those 7 is from the same dude. And one of them is from Connor, who doesn't count anymore either. You know what I'm saying?
What's interesting is that he's 26-7 with 12 knockouts. And Topuria, which...
And where did Topuria come from, too? He hasn't been in the UFC all this time.
No, but Topuria is 15-0. Guess how many knockouts? Oh, you're looking at it.
Only 5.
5 knockouts.
Only 5. That's crazy.
I know.
But the narrative
but
is
how many
that
has
Ilya
he had in the UFC? I think most of them.
Well, at least I know he knocked out Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah.
And
a few other, yeah.
I've seen enough highlight clips of his.
Yeah.
So
it's like...
So he wasn't knocking anybody out in the beginning of his career when he wasn't in the UFC.
That's what I was going to say, which means that it's not just a strong punch that he has. He's a technician, you know? So he's got a very steady chance to win, barring, you know, what do you call it, a puncher's chance, you know.
Yeah, Max Holloway has way more than a puncher's chance. He is one of the best boxers in MMA for sure, and he proved that in that one fight against the dude that he was styling on. He was talking to like DC and them while he was punching the dude. The dude was punching him back, and he's like,
"Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. It was like a year ago,
maybe a little bit more than a year, but it was recent."
Yeah, recent. Yeah. I think that I'm gonna eat my words, but
Ilya dogged to Alexander, but Alexander was coming off of a bad knockout, and I think that had a lot to do with it. The Alexander that got knocked out by Ilya Topuria is not the same Alexander that beat Max Holloway thrice.
Okay, you can also say, okay, but you make somebody look bad. A lot of it is about matchups too.
Of course.
Just like with everything else, even team sports about matchups. There are teams that match up very well against other teams that, you know, could easily beat everybody else, including the champ, you know. And the same thing with fighters. I don't know about, you know, it's not just matchups in fighting, and in sports, but a lot of it comes down to a matchup.
100%.
And I mean, look at Khabib. He was a horrible matchup for everybody. wrestler, puncher, striker, kickboxer, whatever you put against him, he was a bad matchup for everyone, and they all knew what he was going to do, and he did it anyway, and he did it his way.
He did,
right?
Except for that one fight. He still dominated him, but he didn't dominate him as bad. The strange fight with Al Iaquinta.
I mean, he didn't. I mean, he just. The thing is that's again perception. You're looking at.
I'm just comparing that
to the rest of his fights,
which he.
Correct.
Right.
But you're thinking about perception here. Now think about it also. Maybe Iaquinta was actually a bad matchup for Habib, if you think about it.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. So
that's
now,
what I'm saying.
Now, if you
I don't even know about bad. He was a worse matchup than all those other fools.
Bad compared to the other, yeah, of course. Now, if you think about someone like Merab, he would be a bad matchup for Khabib because they would literally it would be a
more than likely
a bad matchup.
More than likely, you never can tell, because if Khabib is just a little bit of a better wrestler, he might have a different thing that he could just.
I don't know, man. We saw what Merab did against fucking Henry Cejudo.
Henry
was injured also at that time.
I think he kind of, dude, he's weird. I think he kind of checked out.
Henry got injured in camp. It's a little known fact, but he got injured in camp, and he didn't want it to be known, but at the time at least, I don't know if it's known now.
What, did he say something afterwards?
No. I got my sources, like every good, podcaster.
That dude is so.
I heard that, okay, from a source. That's real. That much is real. I heard that from a source.
He's a bit cringe, and I think he's adding to it a little bit. I met him and took a picture with him at a festival.
He came here. He shot something here. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, Pete met him and all that. He shot.
He was very cool when I met him.
Was it a commercial or something? I don't know what he did here.
That's interesting.
He came in here and shot one afternoon.
He was cool. He looked at my ears and he was like, "Did you wrestle?" And then we talked about my little college wrestling stuff. And it was funny. He was at the festival with Mike Tyson. Uh-huh. And Mike Tyson was like 20 feet that way.
You told me, yeah.
There was 100 people around Tyson, like in this tight ball. And it was like 5 rows of people. And then Henry was like right here, just standing alone. He didn't look sad or anything, but he was just standing alone. And I remember I was like, it would be cool to see Mike Tyson, but it would be way cooler to see it. And I went up to him and we started talking. It was pretty cool. But I mean, the character that he portrays, and I think it's enhanced a bit, but it's so cheesy.
Everybody portrays a character. Cheesy. That's the funny part. Everybody portrays a character, and it's part of show business. And that's what it is. It's show business, It is show business, but it's show business that you have to back up with something.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if you can't back it up, it means that you got fucked up.
Right.
And that's not good for your brain long term. Right.
Right.
So it's a high stakes.
It's not good for your brand either. Look at Colby Covington.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All that talk was tolerable when he was winning, not to me because I think it's ridiculous. But now that he's been exposed, he hasn't won in a while. It's like now I really don't want to hear your foolishness.
Yeah.
And he's like running from Ian Gary.
I think I know, right? Machado.
Dude, that's so embarrassing because I don't like him. He's cheesy too, but I'm rooting for Ian Gary over Colby Covington because he is just.
Who do you think is odds-on favorite to win, Chimaev or Whitaker?
That's an easy one. I would love to see Robert Whitaker have any amount of success against Khamzat Chimaev. But that is not what the reality is going to be. I really don't think so. Robert Whitaker is very, very tough. And I tell you, his chances increase substantially the longer the fight goes. If he can mess around and drag Chimaev into deep water,
Chimaev gasses out a little bit.
Chimaev gasses out. If you can survive the first 2 rounds, and if he puts up a fight and can take him into championship rounds, forget about it. We never know.
Right.
Now, Chimaev did hang out the entire fight with
Burns.
well, Kamaru.
Oh, with Kamaru, yeah. And Burns also.
And both of them tested him. Before Burns, we were only used to seeing Hamzat murder people.
Yeah,
and then true. Burns hung out with him and then kind of showed
hung out with him. Didn't use jiu-jitsu at all. Used wrestling.
I was very proud of him.
Wrestling defense given, but still.
I was very proud of his performance, even though he lost. But I think everyone sees Chimaev as the favorite.
He is a favorite. 198 and plus 164 is Robert Whittaker.
It's not as much as the
fair. Yes,
it's not as much as the featherweight, huh?
You know what I'm thinking is a lot of those. I think that as the fight nears, I think that Holloway is gonna go closer in odds to Poirier because a lot of the betting happens as the fight gets closer and closer because there's more attention. There's more attention to it, and people bet usually with their hearts. And what happens is that's what's going to move the line, and that's what's going to move the line for Max Holloway's favor. So if you guys want to catch a good bet right now, I think that plus 215 is not bad, and it's going to go down to probably 175, if I have to guess. It's a value bet right now, the way I see it, and the same will happen with Robert Whittaker. Like Ian said, most likely. If he takes him to the late rounds, championship rounds, 4th round, 5th round, he might take that fight. It depends on what happens before that.
Yeah, in my heart, I don't think that's gonna happen though. I think Chimaev is gonna overwhelm him because Robert Whittaker has been doing well in his past couple of fights. He's trying to make a title run, which is not gonna happen, even though he's doing a good job. It's not gonna end up like Glover. But I don't. It was within a couple of fights ago. The last fight that he lost, I could see something like that happening to him because Chimaev can throw his hands as well. He's going to attack with the wrestling, but he's going to make fills with the punches.
For sure.
And he's very dangerous when he's on. And his danger lessens as the rounds go on, but he's still dangerous. Robert Whittaker, that being said, is super duper tough, but Robert Whittaker he's outside of his prime, and for him to withstand Chimaev is going to be a heavy ask. It's just like Glover. Yeah. You would never expect that to happen. You wouldn't expect Glover to make as far as he did. He's one of my heroes after his last run.
He got it at what age?
40. On his 40th birthday, he won the title. I was so happy, and then
I started jiu-jitsu at that age.
Even in he tried to defend it against Jamal Hill and just got beat up. He was dangerous until the end and absorbed so much punishment. To me, it was special. Yeah. And then thank God he retired. I was happy. I'm glad he still left with some glory.
You got to do it this way.
And then went on to help out the current Superman. Whittaker against Yoel Romero, when they were going for the title, that was a Robert Whittaker.
Robert Whittaker was prime.
That was prime. Robert Whittaker against Chimaev would be a crazy match.
Romero was on the other side. With Romero, you don't know, man. This guy may have been born in 1887.
You never know. He was an experiment. He was like the bionic.
He's from Cuba. You never know. And you don't. What's funny is that not only you don't know really what. That's
real about his age. Yeah. They had to do.
Yeah.
There's records that are off.
I know.
And there's a rumor about he was a part of like some program of athletes. Dude, yes. I heard. No. Not that he is the ultimate authority, but Joe Rogan is telling the story. Okay, I don't want to be like, well, Joe Rogan said it's always true. This one I believe it had to do with.
Romero got 20 million because of stories like that.
He won that case.
He won that case fair and square.
I don't think he got to collect all that money.
Probably not.
I don't think that happened. I was happy when he won the case because I tell you what, I thought that he was lying too. I was like, look at him. He's definitely cheating because I was speaking more with my heart. When he popped for steroids for the tainted supplement was just after he fought Gegard Mousasi.
Yeah.
And that was going to be like a title eliminator. And I wanted Gegard Mousasi to win a UFC title ever since he got
so good.
He was so
good,
but he never made it.
He never made it, man. There was something about the level there, and I don't understand why.
He was close. Because then he went to Bellator.
He was,
or wherever
he went to Bellator after, yeah.
And he got the title at least once there.
He got it there. He reminds
Rafael
me of,
Lovato and him were going back and forth.
Of Kenny Florian. Kenny Florian.
3
times title contender.
Yep.
And he just didn't get it.
Yep.
You know?
Jacare was the same way to me. I wanted Jacare to win.
In one of those title contentions, he got dominated, Kenny. Shout out to Kenny Florian, man. What a nice guy. Let me tell you a story about Kenny Florian. I pride myself on it. I know he was joking. Kenny Florian did a seminar here with us. I'll remind me to get back to this because there's an interesting odds here that I just saw right now. Kenny Florian did a seminar here, I don't know, about 4 months ago, 5 months. And
did he?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Where were you, bro?
4 months ago in 2024?
Yes. Yeah, I'll show you the picture with him.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
I missed that.
Yeah, I wonder how come you missed it. I mean, there wasn't many people here, that many people that made it to the seminar, but it was a good seminar.
Kenny Florian's a little bit older school too. And
Kenny Florian is older school, but bro, if you watch his fights, it's like Kenny Florian in his prime, in his weight class. I don't want him going up in weight class and getting fucked up, you know. In his weight class, in his prime, Kenny Florian can beat anybody in that weight class today. And that's because he was well-rounded in everything.
He was in GSP's weight class, right?
He was in
and I think that's why he never won the title.
He was in... hold on a second, I'll tell you right now.
Because GSP was whatever 170 is, I think. Yeah.
He was, but he wasn't. He was at 145. He was fighting in 145. He went to 170, but he
started at 145.
He was... Hold on a second, let's see. He was right now he's nowhere near 145, but he's also taller than me.
He was a middleweight, welterweight, lightweight, and featherweight.
He's 5'10". Yeah, he's taller than me. He's 5'10".
He was in 4 different weight classes.
Yes. Middleweight, welterweight, lightweight, featherweight.
Dude, that's crazy.
2005, middleweight. All right.
That's
crazy. He went lighter as he went on. Middleweight, he started.
That's insane too. That he went lighter on his way on.
Welterweight, lightweight, featherweight. Crazy.
That's so crazy.
And the thing is that he. Oh, it's related to TriStar Gym. I didn't know that.
Faraz Sahabi, shout out Faraz Sahabi.
Faraz Sahabi, yeah. Let me see his martial shop. Okay, Jason Giraud, Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Oh, he was it?
Second title.
BJ Penn.
UFC 91. Just to finish him on the choke.
Roger
before mounting stairs. Okay.
Roger Huerta just fought.
He did?
I think so. I saw something on YouTube.
Oh shit!
I was like, I can't believe he's still fighting.
Contender in the lightweight. I want BJ's belt. Yes, so he fought BJ Penn.
Yeah, BJ's hard to beat.
Yes.
BJ's hard to beat at that time.
He fought Clay Guida. Oh my god, in 2009, Clay Guida just...
Clay Guida's still fighting. Clay Guida has a fight coming up.
He fought in 2009.
That's insane. Clay Guida is such a maniac. I love him.
And Clay Guida hasn't changed anything
changed
about his game since...
And he's still doing okay.
I know. Imagine if he did change his game.
I think after a certain point,
yeah,
it's not going down.
I guess so.
But he's so wrestling focused, and that is impressive to keep doing that type of training and fighting as you get older.
He lost. Oh yeah, okay. So he lost against Jose Aldo in the third title.
Okay.
Chance. The second one, he lost against. Was it Diego Sanchez?
No, Diego Sanchez never got a title, I don't think.
No.
He lost to BJ Penn too.
He did. I can't find it. Anyway, I gotta read through it to But in any case, I've seen them. I've seen the fights, and I gotta tell you, man, impressive.
And he was also an impressive jiu-jitsu fighter.
Oh yeah.
Like mainly jiu-jitsu.
Well, the thing is
made
that
it work.
Jiu-jitsu was his thing. He's a 4th-degree black belt right now. That's his thing. He has good wrestling, you know, very respectable wrestling for MMA, and his fucking Muay Thai got so good. In fact, the seminar started with Muay Thai, and
really?
it progressed down to the ground. And you know, the thing is,
that's impressive.
in one of his title fights, he got mounted and submitted. Mounted, and then he turned and he got rear naked choked, I believe. And I asked him after that because I wanted to hear his opinion, because for me it's always been interesting, you know, from a jiu-jitsu perspective. When you're, you know, there's like a million ways to escape the mount in jiu-jitsu, and they all revolve around not using your hands up to protect your head. To, you know, you put your hands down, obviously, right, to protect your arms from arm bars and all that stuff. And
other than your basic Gracie one, though,
it also the umpa.
Yeah, but you're
doing
to, so you aren't not getting hit.
I have no well, yeah, the umpa is actually to kill the post and all that. I'm not going to comment on that.
Shout out Hickson and self-defense for jiu-jitsu.
There you go. But I'm just gonna say this: I have not seen the umpa work at a high level anywhere.
Me either.
I have not seen it.
Nor have I done it in a long time, and I've been mounted plenty.
I don't remember any. I have not seen anybody who is high level that I have mounted. I mean, high level. How high level can it be that? But let's say we start. We start in the mount.
Subjective,
yes. But let's say, I want to say high level, I mean like past purple belt.
Right.
I'm not talking about
ADCC.
Yeah, I'm not talking high level as in, but I'm talking about past purple belt. I'm talking about like experience level. And let's say we start in the mount and I'm on top of a black belt or something. I have not experienced anybody try to umpa me from that position.
Okay.
And not even attempted.
Okay, and let me tell you, I agree with you. It's not just the Oompa. The Oompa is easy to do. For that to work, you need to have this.
That's the problem.
This, and then you need to do this.
Well, no,
but this is the problem.
There is a bunch of prerequisites. Not only is it hard to get in.
The head and arm.
Not only is it hard to get in, but what do we always say when somebody mounts you? What's the first thing they say? Put your hands down. Push the knee if you're gonna do a knee and elbow.
Right.
They teach the kids that.
Right.
That's they teach the kids that.
Straight jujitsu.
At the same time, you also teach people to actually open their arms in order to trap everything. You know. And look what happens to because when you open the arm and you trap the arm here, trap the arm, you know, try to push and all that stuff. Look what happens to your elbows. They're wide open. Now I know I'm gonna get.
Well, the thing is, you're supposed to.
At least someone who hears this
to cause an imbalance, and then you catch that. In an ideal situation, you entice the Nuwaza, and then you catch, so you're not getting punched, and then you block, and then you go.
Look, you can apologize on behalf of the Gracie family all you want, and don't get me wrong, man. The Gracies have done some amazing things, and I still think that the Gracies are the clan that changed martial arts forever in the view of people.
100%.
And like, there is absolutely no other reason why we're here right now, even knowing each other, if it wasn't for the Gracies.
Great point.
But the game evolves, and
the game evolves,
and there are things that are just not only outdated. I'm not saying the game evolves from an outdated point of view, whatever. But there are things that are just.
Dude, you could see old Alio videos doing crazy stuff, like from the guard, doing all kinds of madness. And if he did that,
we have a huge sample size now to take from. We got decades of competition footage, and there are just some things that you don't see in high-level competition.
And hundreds, thousands of matches.
I'll give you another one of those. And ironically, John Danaher talks about it too. Americana. You don't see that shit happening. And it's a staple. But here's the thing. I think that Americana you have to teach because it's a very important. It leads to other things.
I think it's good to teach, but
and
you never see it.
It costs you almost nothing. You know, it's.
And also, it leads to like
That's what
the
I'm saying.
threat leads to.
It leads to other things. Yes. So you gotta know the Americana and all that stuff in order to, you know.
But I'm not Americana in anyone
but
ever.
let me tell you who got submitted with Americana. Big Dan.
Did he?
Yeah.
Against whom?
I'll read you the name.
Because I'd be curious who. Because you need to be on top of them, right, to be doing that.
Yeah, he was exhausted.
Okay. Well. Okay. I get it.
He got submitted by. He was like going on and on and on, and then like winning and winning and winning, and then he got submitted in, I think it was in Who's Number One, submitted by.
Okay.
Americana.
The one I saw was when Tackett, little Andrew
Correct.
Tackett,
Correct.
with
Yes.
Choke of the Lions.
Yeah.
That was intense.
Shit.
And Nicky Rodriguez
Somehow
beat him
I
with
can't
a.
find it, but I know it's there.
I mean, from side body.
No, from the mount. He got mounted.
I could see it more from the mount than from side body.
Well, from the mount, it's actually easier to escape than from the side because from the side, they're cross-side and they're pinning your other shoulder. So when they start finishing, your only defense here is, provided that there is no room for you to turn under their body, right, with the other arm. Your only defense here is to start straightening your arm and then off-balancing little by little. But it requires a certain amount of strength and timing. Now, when they're in the mount, you can use your other hand to actually
help
push into the armpit and all that stuff. The wrong defense would be to actually turn into the Americana because then you give up your back, you give up arm bar. You know, that's a setup for arm bar for the back and all that. So you wanna actually bridge. That's when Umpa is gonna work for you because everything is lost at that point. You're defending submission. There's different things. You can defend position and you can defend submission, right? When you're defending submission, all of those things go out the window. Where's my elbows? You're defending submission, you don't worry about what kind of position it leaves you in. You worry about that later. I mean, of course, there is better and worse positions that it can leave you in, but depending on how deep the submission is, you're looking to get that out of the way, right? So when you're defending that Americana from the mount, you got to make a V grip or C grip, whatever you want to call it, and stick it into their armpit, and then bridge that way so that they have to actually post on their hands instead of at least one of their hands and let go of the Americana. And then you come back and right away you go back down here rather than chill because, you know. So that's the idea. There's Andrew Tackett versus Manasal, but
it's kind of like you already effed up.
I wonder if
when
it wasn't
you gave
Nicky
him
Rod.
the Americana.
Was it Nicky Rod that submitted him?
Nicky Rod submitted him with a rear naked choke.
Oh, with rear naked. Okay, record.
It's just what I kind of meant was I could see someone going for an Americana more so from the mount than from the side body because it would possibly lead to.
Oh, it's easy. Yeah, of course.
And all your submissions are right there.
Yeah. But it's not.
And from side, you've got I'm like, why are you going for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would still like to see that though, because he's just so big. I just would like to see how big the other dude was. But like I said, I guess if, fatigue makes cowards of us all. And when you're tired, dude, you're not trying to move. Just like when Nicky Rod just beat Michael Pixley. You could tell as soon as he got around him. The dude, the way that the tap was, he was just like, I'm tired of effing around. I'm tired of being here.
Yeah.
He just wanted to get out of there.
Yeah.
You could just tell.
Exactly.
And I think we talked about that.
There you go.
He was so tired. Victor Hugo. Okay.
Round 2 in UFC Fight Pass Invitational.
Wow.
Round 2.
That was just in December.
Yeah, December last year. No, that's last year.
Yeah.
That's about a year ago.
Yeah.
And Americana from.
Well, Victor Hugo's kind of big.
Yeah.
He's the one that beat the older Tackett, right? First round of CJI. I think so.
I can't remember. Victor Hugo, no, Victor Hugo lost. He lost in the first match to, who was it? I can't remember. He lost with a heel hook. He got put in a heel hook. He was the favorite to win. He was the favorite to go against Nicky Rod in the and he had just beaten Nicky Rod in on February, the one I went to see here, who's number one. He had just beaten him. So
did he?
Yeah. So what happened was he was favorite.
Back.
No, he was favorite to win the whole CJI against Nicky Rod in the final eventually, but he never even made it past the first round because he got heel hooked. And yeah, he gave up his ADCC spot for that.
Hey, at least he walked away with some money
10,000
from and won.
I know. Yeah, that $1 is a game changer.
Well, because Mo Jassim changed it, right?
He's now talking about.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah.
He's done.
Yeah.
The rumor for a second was that he got fired, but Tom DeBlas knocked that out.
Well, Tom DeBlas also, I mean, he likes to play it very fair and all that stuff, but Tom DeBlas is, no, I'm not saying that he got fired. I'm just saying that the one who started the rumor is Craig Jones, of course, so you're not going to trust Craig Jones.
And then our girl, shout out to Alex Wendling.
Wendling, yeah.
But she openly admitted that she was just playing around, just throwing it out there to kind of troll.
Yeah, of course.
Which I appreciated.
I mean, but so is Craig Jones. I mean, if you take Craig Jones seriously on any issue, I think that you're a fool, right?
Yeah, and it's obvious that Craig Jones, that's not malicious. It doesn't even feel malicious. It feels like a joke because of their relationship. But I still do appreciate Tom DeBlas. I do trust him, even though he's on that side.
Yeah, I don't trust him much, to be honest with you.
I definitely trust Tom DeBlas.
Because he's very one-sided.
Well, he's on that team's side. I mean, Mo Jassim and Gordon are like...
How about this? What about this, speaking of... What about this...
We're all over the place again.
No.
I love it, though.
Yeah, of course. There's no agenda. There's no
agenda here.
Yeah, no. What about the rumor that... that's a very strong rumor, though, about Nikki Ryan and Gordon Ryan's girl.
No one told... I didn't...
You didn't know that?
Gordon Ryan's current girlfriend?
Yes.
That Brazilian girl?
Yeah.
What about him?
That when Nikki was a minor, she had sex with him or something like this. And there's proof of that, and it became a big deal, and that's supposedly like... Craig Jones was the one making the comments and the stuff he was posting.
He insinuated that?
He insinuated that very strongly.
That sounds a little bit too far to be joking about.
Nikki Ryan. Yeah, I don't think...
that's so crazy?
Yes.
That's so crazy that she could sue him.
Right.
And have a good case, defamation.
Nobody's saying anything about it.
That's what makes it sketchy.
Yeah. It's like, the way I saw it was, nobody wanted to take any part in that conversation.
Yeah.
How should I search that? Nikki
it.
Ryan, Sonny, what's her name?
That wouldn't have been why they broke up.
No, I don't think so, but still.
The Death Squad. When did this happen? When this happened while Gordon was... That just sounds crazy.
Who knows when... Natalia Santoro.
Oh, I thought that might have been it, but no. We might have to see this. This is stuff that we needed like a deep dive.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like we need some homework on this.
Like a nigga, right? What the fuck?
When he was a little boy.
I know.
Yeah, I remember that.
Anyway, there was this whole thing going on.
That's crazy.
But
that's not new, is it?
No, that's a few months old already.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was kind of like buried under the carpet, and
I can see why.
And Tom DeBlas did not say anything about that. He is very righteous. He would have said something about it. He was like, I don't know, I shouldn't probably talk. Like, this is my thing. That's how I remember, I thought of, when Tom DeBlas,
Yeah.
when you mentioned Tom DeBlas, that's what I thought of right away, because he's very big on predators and stuff like this,
Yeah.
And when this happened, he was nowhere to be heard, at least to, say something against it. But he didn't. Nobody did. I didn't even hear Gordon say that's bullshit. Like, I didn't even see that. Maybe, I don't know. But apparently there's like tapes and stuff, and Craig was saying, don't make me release that or whatever. It was big. It was big. It was big. Maybe look back in Craig Jones's,
like on some, it's probably on Instagram.
reels on Instagram, probably back, I would say, I don't know, maybe 6 months.
I'll look for it.
Yeah. Anyway, let me get back to you on this one.
Because that's intense.
Ankalaev versus Rakic.
Yeah.
Ankalaev is supposed to be the championship contender at one point.
He's badass.
Against Poatan, no?
Yes.
And everybody's saying that, not everybody, of course, but people are saying that Poatan is, Alex Pereira is dodging him because of his wrestling and all that stuff. Ankalaev's wrestling and all that, right? So
I don't know about that.
That makes sense, right? Of course.
It kind of does, but he's fought 3 fights in the past, 2 weeks?
That's what I'm saying.
He's not running from everybody. He's going.
Sound to me like, listen, he did not have to take a fight. He did not have to take, and we're going to segue to Roundtree after that. He did not have to take a fight against Roundtree, who was number 8 ranked.
Right.
Roundtree gave him a good fight, but Roundtree waned.
For a minute.
Yeah, for a minute. The reason he got knocked out is not because Alex Pereira got lucky. It's because he was.
No.
It's because he was very good. But Roundtree did way more than everybody else thought, given that he was number 8 in the rankings.
He did.
Ankalaev is, I think, number 1 or 2 contender.
It's hard to. I like to do this too, but it's hard to argue it. But to judge how good someone is, this came even from when I used to wrestle in high school. It's hard to judge how good someone is or how good you are by how well you lose. Do you know what I'm saying? Even if it's against
and it's a matchup again. It's about matchups.
Now,
right?
if I go against the ADCC champion at my weight, like if he walks in the gym tomorrow and I go against him and I do okay, and then he still slams me, yeah, that's a nice little victory in my heart. And I can, like, on the next podcast, I'll be like, did you see me? I did okay. Even though I got choked out 5 times, I did this. That's cool. But when you're talking about professional competition, I can appreciate when someone does a good job against someone really good that they're not supposed to. But at the end of the day, and that is so cliche saying, but it's true. At the end of the day, they lost.
Yep.
So Khalil Roundtree, shout out to you for doing something like that. Was crazy.
Crazy.
You exposed a tiny bit. You're like, oh, this dude is real. He's a human being. He's not a robot.
This dude is
because
real,
he looked like he was in trouble for a second. Now, and I don't know if this is what you're going to segue into, but Dana White's mad because he didn't change his ranking. His ranking wasn't changed.
Give me a second. Well, that's where we're going to go. But back to Ankalaev, because he's a contender. Yeah. He's a contender right now for the championship. He's fighting Alexander Rakic, and Rakic is a savage but Rakic is a striker. Rakic is a plus 310 underdog, and Ankalaev is minus 395.
Probably because they think Ankalaev is going to take this fool down. This might be like a proxy fight.
This is very much what Rakic is nowhere near the level of, I don't think, of the level of Alex Pereira. I think that Rakic is going to get lit up by Alex Pereira, but that kind of math doesn't translate to what Ankalaev could do to either of them. That's just matchup one-on-one with Alex Pereira. But in other words, if Ankalaev runs through Rakic for 3 rounds,
which he probably will,
if he does 3 10-8 rounds on Rakic, let's say, just hypothetically, 3 10-8 rounds, it doesn't mean that he's going to take down Alex Pereira even once.
No.
So that's what I'm saying, right? So this is not like a blueprint on how we're going to beat because I got this down on Rakic. But what are the repercussions here for Ankalaev if he loses that fight on a puncher's chance? You imagine that Savage Rakic just kicks you in the head.
And that stuff happens. Look at Leon Edwards.
Yeah. He takes you out of there and you are done.
Well,
I mean, you're not done, but you're not the contender anymore.
Those things happen every once in a while. And it's like there's a Brazilian heavyweight, Jalton Almeida. He's really, really good. He's really big. He hits hard, and he's really good at jiu-jitsu. He went against Curtis Blades. He shot in. Curtis Blades started elbowing him, and he didn't do anything. He kept trying to take him down, and he got knocked out.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
If he would have beaten Razor Blades, he would have fought Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
But he's going to fight again, and he's going to beat the dude up.
Another Savage. He's on standby for Stipe against John Jones.
I wonder how official that is because I don't.
He just said it yesterday.
I know.
They just confirmed it yesterday.
It's just that you know how John Jones hates fighting.
I'm saying that the fight is scheduled, but what's his name is on standby officially for that fight. I know where you're going with that.
A perfect world for me would be for Stipe to get hurt or to act like he's hurt and just let Tom Aspinall sneak attack John Jones. That won't happen. But I just wonder.
You think Tom Aspinall can beat John Jones?
Yes.
We haven't seen John Jones in a while. I mean, anybody can beat anybody.
That's one reason why I think so. First of all, John Jones was doing this in his career while he was still a light heavyweight.
That's true.
Now he put on all that weight. He hasn't fought. This dude, Tom Aspinall, is something unlike he's gone against before. Tom Aspinall is as big as John Jones is, can move like John Jones, and is a natural heavyweight. I just think and he's younger. Now,
John Jones looks pretty natural with a heavyweight.
He looks fat.
He looks like DC, man.
He doesn't look.
DC cuts 50 pounds to fight in a light heavyweight.
I know. John Jones does not look fat.
He's a natural heavyweight.
John Jones does not look fat, but he's not. He doesn't
big.
Look like He doesn't look like a Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Who's a heavyweight. Renan Ferreira, who Francis is going against, that dude is a heavyweight. Brock Lesnar, even though he was juicing.
There are heavyweights and heavyweights. I mean, I think that John Jones goes up to 250 max, I think. And their heavyweights, they're 280, 270.
John Jones won't come into any fight at 250, though. I think he's like in the 40s. But still, it's...
But Aspinall is about 260, no?
Yes, and can move.
That makes a big difference.
I just want to see... I haven't seen John Jones move since he fought Dominic Reyes.
That's true. Yeah, there was not much...
And that was... I think he won that fight. I think he lost it in the judges' eyes because he closed it.
He closed it? I think that's why he won it, because he was
That's
the
why
champion
too,
at
but
the
I
time,
think I still think if it was scored the right way, this is just my little argument, Dominic Reyes outscored him in that fight. But the illusion is, if in a championship fight especially, if you look really good in the last round,
last 2 rounds specifically,
you're gonna... Robbie Lawler made a career out of this.
Well, I mean,
he would get beat.
The thing is that you gotta beat the champion.
You gotta beat the champion, and I agree with that. I agree with that.
In order to take that
100%.
belt. You can't just, meh.
You're right.
I'm not saying that he half-asses it.
Right, I totally agree.
Because nobody goes there to half-ass it.
You need to beat the champion, and the champion should be given
Tyron Woodley.
Given a bit of a break.
It's not Tyron. It's Tyron. Tyron Woodley. Unless you're Tyron Woodley who half-asses it.
Dude.
A couple of times you can say.
His career.
You were saying about Roundtree and Dana White.
Dana White is upset because Khalil Roundtree did so well in that fight against Alex Pereira, better than everyone else that we've seen, and yet he lost the fight. He got knocked out in the 4th round, but his ranking never changed. He was 8th ranked before the fight. He's 8th ranked now. And there were members of the media that even pushed back. Kevin Iole was like, okay, why do you think he should move up? And Kevin Iole knew his stuff a little bit more than me. He was like, the dudes that are 7 and 6 have won 4 fight streaks in a row. Why would you put Khalil Roundtree in front of...
Just because he had a good fight against...
Just because you had a good 2 rounds and then got knocked the F out, you're going to jump people?
the third round wasn't his.
Now I tell you, I do think it's kind of weird, even though I'm not gonna like die on this argument. But if the number 8 seed or number 8 ranked guy goes against the number 3 ranked guy and beats him, then he just jumps over everyone and immediately takes that rank. I think that's a little bit drastic. But
I don't see that.
Dude, you go wherever.
There is a reason you're number 8.
And I don't know if it's like if number 8 beats number 2 and takes number 2. I don't know if number 2 goes all the way to 8. I don't think that happens. He won't fall all the way. They'll move around. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah.
But the winner jumps up.
Yeah, but even the winner doesn't jump up necessarily. Not necessarily.
In rank?
Yeah.
I think 100%. I think that's how they do it. Because I'm like, that's crazy.
Roundtree just didn't jump.
Because he lost.
Well, no, of course, yeah, he lost. I'm sorry.
If he would have gone against the number 1 guy,
no, he would have taken. Yeah.
Then he would take that rank.
But
I think that's a little bit too drastic.
That's what baffled me a little bit, that they scheduled a fight for Alex Pereira against the number 8 ranked.
Okay,
guy.
that's very weird.
I don't get
it.
A
lot of the fans were upset about that in the beginning. And I get it.
It was a good fight.
It turned out to be a good fight. It was a gamble, but
there's
still,
a fucking reason the guy's number 8.
It's not a 100% meritocracy in the UFC, and we see that more and more now. I don't know the name, but there's a kid he's making his UFC debut. He's from Japan. He's making his UFC debut against Pantoja for the title. Your first fight in the UFC, he's fighting for the title. I don't even know if he won. I don't know if he got in the UFC through the Dana White Contender Series, probably, but I don't remember. But that's
ridiculous.
Almost unheard of. I've never heard of that. That might have happened,
either.
But that's especially modern times.
Modern times, what they do
that's
is
crazy.
They nurture like Bo Nickel.
If he's that much of a sweetheart, yeah, you try to nurture him.
There was we talked about Nate. Shout out Nate. He was
Nate Diaz.
No, Nate used to train with us here. Nathan. He's a Ukrainian gentleman, and he trained with us here. And I think while he was still training with us, he was trying to get professional fights. He has professional record, right, already, but not in the U.S. He came to the U.S. to fight, and he couldn't get a freaking fight scheduled for himself. And he still can't. He has one sambo stuff and shit like this.
He's trying to get a professional fight.
He's trying to get a professional fight. He was scheduled. I'm not gonna mention names. I actually forgot the guy's name, but he was in talks, not scheduled, in talks to fight a Division I NCAA champion wrestler who is going into MMA. Same as Bo Nickel does, right? But Bo Nickel already had 1 or 2 fights at the time, and this guy refused the fight. And Nate was texting me one night, and he sounded like very upset about things like, I can't believe this guy's a champion, and he's refusing. Now Nate has a background in, check this, boxing, kickboxing, really good. Boxing, kickboxing, sambo, wrestling.
Well, that's
combat sambo, that is.
That's why the dude probably turned him down. He didn't want to get his ass beat.
He's got videos. Nate was telling me, I'm gonna delete those videos from YouTube. I'm gonna see what I can do, because I can't get a fight and shit like this. It's not that.
Well, how is he? It's also, and I don't know. I'm not a manager, but how is he going about trying to get fights?
Well, he was in talks. I'm not sure how. I don't know how, to be honest. But there was
because if he's trying to get like local type stuff, he might be too good.
That's the thing.
Because we got even Tomaslov and some guys that are trying to get fights, and dudes will fall out.
No. You can't pick local fights like in the amateur promotions if you're a pro fighter. You can't.
Yeah, but there are little pro promotions, and I'm talking about smaller than LFC or smaller than Brave, smaller than these.
Correct, but he already has a record. That's the thing. He already has a record from overseas.
But I'm saying that might be what it is. If he tries to go to some of these pro promotions, these smaller ones, these dudes plug his name in, and they're like, that dude is a killer. I'm not going against that dude.
Right, but we're talking about someone my point here is that the UFC, I believe, signed, it wasn't the UFC, I think it was a different promotion, but anyway, maybe it was the UFC, signed that guy to a 3-fight contract, and the guy actually fought shortly after he said he was injured. He cited an injury as a reason to pull out of a fight. They were in training camp, both of them, and he
well, that might have been legitimate.
He fought like a month later against somebody else.
Things heal in a long time.
I don't know, bro. It sounded like really, really weird. I don't know. My point is that and Nate is not young anymore. He's in his late 20s, maybe 30.
So he needs to get going.
He needs to get going. He was very discouraged. He trains in another gym right now, but
he needs to get a manager or something.
He loved it here. I mean, we loved him, but he couldn't find
and I bet that's
good sparring partners and stuff, because
I'm sure that's discouraging.
Yeah, and
I'm sure
he was going up against like.
But he might need to go to like a bigger, like a school that's more in tune to professional fighting or something. Yeah. He might need to go to Extreme Couture something like that.
He did something like that. Yeah, I don't know where he went, but yeah, I mean, and
wish him the best though.
Dude,
you know.
Oh, you should have met that guy. You would have loved him. Very nice guy. Oh fuck, we should invite that guy.
Oh, he's still around?
Yeah, he's here in LA.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah. And he works in casino, I think, casinos and stuff. So
I think you've told me about him.
Yeah, so he's gonna be. Yeah, we should invite him, man. Then he can tell his story.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Very nice idea. Can't believe I talked about him for like 10 minutes. And
Plus,
it just occurred to me.
We're all rooting for Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know,
of course.
So.
Yeah. So I mean, trust me, not all of us.
I've heard, talking about.
No. I mean,
oh, you mean not?
I've heard people.
There's some fools.
I've heard some people that are, you know.
I can't root for a bully.
You know what's funny to me is that all these people that are here,
and I love Russians.
In America,
it's just
no.
Putin and the
talking
government.
About different. We're not talking about whether we like Russians or Ukrainians. We're talking about. Do we like somebody who you can say I love Germans and you have everything against Germany in the mid 40s, right? Or in the 40s, right? Because of what they did as their government, right? Did it. And you can say the same thing about Russians right now. I mean, I got a lot of Russian friends. I got Russian friends here. I got Russian friends online. I've had Russian friends my whole life.
I don't have any Russian friends. I would love to have some.
I have, and I'm still on good terms with them, and I still
love to have some
them.
Russian friends.
With that being said, it's none of them.
If I come over your house and if I come over my Russian friend's house and Putin's there, there's gonna be some trouble.
It's gonna be awkward.
There's gonna be some trouble. See, I got him on an on-site
you gotta
visa.
You gotta be a little careful. I'm thinking that Harayogoshi might be pretty good. Don't let him get his hands on you. If you go there,
he murdered Prigozhin, so
you make sure you take off your shirt. He relies on the grips.
I know, right?
But
they took away his black belt.
No. He's still a judo black belt. They took away his honorary Taekwondo black belt. He had an honorary Taekwondo black belt. Don't worry about his black belt. He's fine. I mean,
I don't have to worry about any kicks coming from awkward directions.
No, he'll be all right. He'll be just fine. But all the Russians that I know do not support him, and never have. But by the way, to me, what's interesting is Americans that I know who support Russia in this, who will also be so much against, who will also talk to you about freedom and stuff like this. There is no fucking freedom in Russia.
Right.
There is freedom in quotation marks, but try and express your freedom.
Right.
And see what happens to you. Right. So, I guarantee you that with all the brainwashing in the media in Russia and all that stuff, I guarantee you that still the bigger size of the bigger chunk of the population does not want Putin there. They don't want to be in the war in Ukraine, especially now that it's been going on forever,
for a while.
or that special operation as they call it and all that shit, you know. For a special operation, it's taking a long time.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
wonder how much pressure economically the people are being put under, if any. Like, I wonder if they can tell if their lives, if the normal person's life, or how much the normal person's life has changed from the first day that they invaded until today.
Well, consider this.
I know there's
there's Consider this. Yeah.
But that's not...
Consider this. The war is not fought in Russia. It is in
just a little bit.
A little bit, yes. The war is fought in Ukraine.
Right.
The ones who suffer the consequences of the war itself economically are Ukraine.
Yeah.
In Russia,
what
does the war do to you? It provides for workforce.
The economy is
what
paper it's up.
Germany's a little more history in case last time wasn't enough. Germany's economy took off in the 1930s when they started gearing up for war. They didn't gear up for war necessarily. They didn't say that, but what they were doing was they were actually, started manufacturing. They everything was geared towards preparations for war.
Sure.
And what happens is it provides jobs.
Which is what it's still kind of doing.
If
it's
you've ever
propping up the
seen,
economy now.
have you seen the Schindler's List? Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So the Schindler's
I don't
List
remember a lot about it.
is basically
It was hard to get through.
German industrialist, Oskar Schindler, who a businessman who owned the factory for, I can't remember what they were manufacturing, but it was essential to the war machine in Germany. And he saved tens of Jewish people, tens, maybe hundreds, I don't know how many really. But a lot of Jewish people he saved by
in the hundreds.
Putting them to work. Well, there was hundreds.
They wouldn't remember him if it was just 25 people. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Hear
me out. 25 Jewish survivors from World War II, which is 80 years ago, translates to hundreds of people today.
Sure.
Probably 300, 400, maybe more people today because, of generations. So they do remember him, and the movie was made in the 1990s. And if you would like to watch a good movie, I definitely recommend it. It won Oscars and all that stuff.
It's black and white, I think, clips.
It was, yes. But this gentleman, he saved a lot of Jewish lives by putting them to work in his factory. And I think they were getting paid and all that stuff, but that's not the point. The point is that at the time, Jewish people were persecuted to death in Germany. It wasn't about slavery where, we're going to take you to the camp to work for us for free.
Right.
Those camps were there to kill you slowly. They were not there to make you...
Which was one thing that was crazy about that whole Nazi ideology. They were there not to do
profit. Not to profit from them. Like when
the war was going down.
When slavery was going on in America.
That's what made America rich.
Everywhere, yes. Everywhere in the world, in history of the world, where there was slavery of one type or another, there was a economical reason.
That was the point
behind the slavery. That was the point. You enslave people to put them to work
for your benefit, for free. It wasn't like that over there. As they started losing the war,
to kill them slowly, and
then they started to lose the war, they focused, instead of having the people in those camps help out and do stuff, they put more people in there to do more stuff that brought them down even faster.
Bro, how many German
madness
soldiers it takes to do all that work during war, in wartime, to round up people, to throw them in on trains, to transport them.
The logistics is crazy.
The logistics are crazy just to and the workforce that it takes to do this.
And they're not even doing work.
Yeah.
They're digging holes and moving that pile of dirt over here.
Literally,
it was suffering. What is the most intense way I can make these people suffer? And
the closer the war got to the end, the faster they started killing them, because they were...
It was like work without purpose.
It was so bad that they actually invented those gas chambers for the purpose of mass extermination, so
Right.
they could make space, make room for more people to come.
It's so crazy.
It's amazing. Insane.
Madness.
Not just the cruelty of it, but the pointlessness
They're
of
right.
it.
That
you know?
was
That's
and
ideology. That's ideology.
that's the most insidious part.
that's
the
the problem
pointlessness of it.
of any ideology. Political
It's almost
ideology
not. It's like at the
is-
point of nihilism,
Yeah.
where nothing matters. Like the school shooter thing.
Right.
Nothing matters so much that I'm going to do the most horrible thing I can do, and then I'll just kill myself. I'm just going to show you
Well,
how nothing.
Pretty much what happened with Hitler, right? Yeah.
Pretty much exactly what happened, but
Yeah.
he did it on the craziest
On a crazier
scale.
scale, yeah, of course, and you know, to the and it has changed history forever.
I think the whole
has changed
nationalism,
history
that
forever.
extreme nationalism, is like the cover for it, because they kind of got their asses handed to them in World War I, and the whole country was down. Like, oh man, we got to pay these reparations. We got our asses kicked.
Well, that's
you know,
what
we
happened.
suck.
They
and
were-
Hitler was like, no, we're gonna be strong. Everybody come together.
The 1920s were a horrible time for Germany in economical terms. They were, that's when they were sentenced to pay back the reparations to the victors, and that's what brought the economy down. Their inflation, they had the hyperinflation. It's, if you don't know what hyperinflation is, basically today you go
Like
and
Venezuela.
yeah. So you have $10 in your pocket today, and you go and you buy a loaf of bread and a piece of cheese, you know, and you eat for the day. Tomorrow you're assigned. You put another $10 in your pocket. You go to the store, and you cannot buy anything with the $10. As a matter of fact, $10 is going to be cheaper to use to wipe your butt than to
Right.
buy toilet paper.
Like loaves of bread cost like $1 million.
Something like that.
Like they can't even carry
imagine
the-
from one day to another, the price goes up to. We had inflation in Bulgaria when I was serving in the army, and I have this story. You know, I'm always full of stories and shit. But
How bad was the inflation?
well, I'll tell you right now. It was pretty bad, but it got under control like quite fast. But it was pretty bad. So, for example, at the army base, we would go for breakfast, and then we got like maybe, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 minutes in between breakfast and you know, the start of the day. That's when I was in training camp. And so I would go with my buddies to the coffee shop, right? Whatever it's called, like the you know, there were 3 coffee shops at the base, and I would go to, like, in different parts of the base. You know, we'll go to the one that's closest to the plaza, right? And the one day you would pay, like, we would buy coffee, and it would be like let's say $1 for a cup, right? The next day we went there, and the price of the cup of coffee went up to $2. We're like, what happened?
That's 100%.
It's like, sorry, yeah. What's interesting is that we would go in the afternoon on the same day, and the price was up to $4.
Wow.
So, and then the next day it went up to $6 and stuff like this. So
How
your
is it
money
changing so fast?
Well, that's the thing.
That's crazy.
It has a snowball effect, because the wholesale prices. What happens is you buy, when you own, like, let's say whatever business you own, and you have inventory,
Right.
and you bought that inventory at a certain price. Let's say you
Right.
bought your coffee, a pound of coffee for
Yeah.
$4, and you're selling a cup of coffee for $1, and you're making profit out of it, right?
The next time you go
But
to
the
get,
problem is that you hear that right now the pound of coffee at and wholesale went up to, from $4 went up to $17.
Yeah.
So
So
now
you have
if you
to
keep
adjust.
selling, for $1, you're not going to be able to make that
Yeah.
money up.
price
So-
stability is the number one job of the Fed.
Right. So
Because
now
stuff
you're
doing
yeah.
this makes people crazy.
Correct. So now you're adjusting for the price. You're projecting how am I going to pay for that pound of coffee next time I go to the market, which is
Right.
going to be probably the day after tomorrow
Right.
to restock. And you're like, well, I got to raise the price. Meanwhile, somebody calls you from from the market and tells you, by the way, the price next time you come in, bring a thick wad of money because the price went up from 17 to 29 or whatever. Now you raise the price one more time because now you're doing your calculations percentage wise, and that's how
you're sweating,
and that's how it happens. And then what happens? Usually the government gets involved and they put a price.
That happened in Brazil like within 15 years ago or so, but they were successful.
Yeah, it happens everywhere, now and then. But like
Venezuela, I mean, there's a couple of places now where it's so far out of control.
Well, Venezuela is a country that exports.
Well, they used to export oil, but not anymore.
Well, they still do.
Well, they had a bad season when the prices went crazy for oil, and then they weren't prepared for that, and the inflation got really bad.
But
their economy is still jammed up right now.
Here's the thing: Japan's currency devaluated recently. Not too long ago, maybe 3 months ago, it went down by like, I don't know, the yen went down from 120 yen for $1 to 160 or something like this, which is a huge hike for a country with the economy of Japan, like the third or fourth biggest economy in the world.
I always heard it was
yeah. Now that China has the second biggest economy, it's like
it's crazy because Japan is so little.
Well, Japan after World War II put their people to work and with the help of America and all that.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the United States. We destroy you, but then we put you back, take you back to your feet.
Dust you off.
Yep. A lot of dust over there to dust off too.
Yeah.
But Japan has big exports.
So they came back.
What happens is they, even though the yen devaluates, when you export something, you don't get paid in your currency. You get paid in international currency like the US dollar.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, right? Generally speaking.
Yeah.
So when you get paid in US dollar, the fact that you're exporting helps you, with you're not losing money necessarily. So in the case of Venezuela,
it depends on the relationship between that, whatever the exporting currency is.
With the export,
like if the dollar is really strong, that means when we're importing stuff, it's more expensive for us.
But that's for the United States because that's our currency here.
Right.
But I'm talking about Japan. Japan exports and gets paid in US dollars.
When they export to America.
But to manufacture that product that they export. No, not only to America. They export to Russia, they'll get paid in US dollars.
No, they won't.
Oh yeah, they will.
How is Russia going to give them US dollars when we don't fuck with them?
Well, not now, but
now in oil it's different. Well, not anymore because they took the dollar off the.
I gave Russia as an example, but if they export to Brazil, they'll get paid in US dollars. They're not going to get paid in BRICS currency or something stupid, because they're not part of that. When Japan exports to Brazil,
why wouldn't they get paid in reais? This is what I thought happened.
They don't.
If it's just like if I'm Brazil or if I'm Japan,
because nobody has.
I've got to buy reais so that I can give to you to get what I want from you.
But there's the exchange. That's the strength of the US dollar. That's where the strength of the US dollar comes from. The fact that it's used as a number one currency in the world to trade with.
The strength of the US dollar came mainly from that was the currency that was used to buy and sell oil, the petrodollar. So when everyone bought oil, they would need American dollars. So everyone needs dollars. So the demand for dollars is strong, which makes the dollar strong.
But not only that. Anything that Japan exports, for example, when China exports shit to countries that are non-BRICS, associated, like China exports, let's say to. I don't know, say to Africa somewhere.
Okay.
They are not going to get paid in African currency, whatever that currency is. You know why? Because they're not. They don't want that currency.
Obviously, they're not going to get paid.
No, they're going to get paid in US dollars.
They're going to get paid in yuan.
No, they won't.
Why not?
Because they don't. They get paid in US dollars. That's the whole thing. Yes.
We need to find this.
That's the whole.
Why would they?
That is.
Why would they? What is China? China. Okay.
Because
there's even I did Forex for a small amount of time. There's currency pairs. So there's like a dollar yuan.
Correct.
There's currency pairs for any country that does business with any other country. And that's how the things are measured. Now, other than oil, if China is sending a bunch of, if China is sending a bunch of stuff to Africa, wait, what was the last example?
African country.
They're sending stuff to Africa.
Yeah. China is exporting stuff, which is normal.
Yeah, that's like they're making a sale. Those people need to get yuan to pay for that.
They don't.
Why would they do it in dollars?
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Because, and that's the reason why. That's the reason
what's
why.
The connect? I will tell you the connection of dollars with the one thing is oil, the petrodollar.
Right.
And that was because we had an agreement with Saudi Arabia, and there's a whole bunch of. I read this one book, The Confessions of an Economic Hitman, and it was crazy.
Oh shit! I have that book. Yeah, I have that book. I never read it.
It's intense, and it's not a hard read. But he tells you the whole scam. That was the biggest scam since slavery that America pulled off, and how we got super rich when we did some stuff for Saudi Arabia, and then we were like, hey, we're gonna do this for you. We're gonna hook you up. We're gonna have a nice relationship. We're gonna give you all this. But what you can do for us is make it so that oil is priced in dollars. And they were like, okay. And that's why we've been so cool all these years, quote unquote. And that's another reason why the dollar was been number one. Now, the dollar hasn't always been the world reserve currency. There have been it was a pound for a minute. It's been other things. But when they fall off, another one comes up. And at that time, it was a dollar with oil. And the dollar we're still living fat off of that. Now, that just stopped like this year or last year. But we still have a lot of momentum, so it's not like the dollar's going to crash or anything. But with other goods, there's no reason for a country to be like, I want US dollars. Now, in some transactions, I don't know, maybe, but as a general rule, I don't understand. Yeah, the countries are gonna you're gonna pay me in my currency. The only reason why they don't do that with oil is because there's a deal. Because oil is coming from Saudi Arabia, that's how they're pricing it. So I'm forced to price it like this. But outside of that,
look at this. China exports to Uganda.
Okay.
Was $1.24 billion US dollars.
Okay, see, I'm not saying that that's wrong, but usually if it's to an American audience, they're going to transfer that.
Yes and no. Let's see. I'm trying
they're
to
going
find.
They're going to
exchange
the rate.
Find the actual. I understand what you're saying, but
see, this is why we needed Jamie. This is the second time this is I wish we had.
We need who? Oh, Jamie. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. Look at the China exports, like everything.
Dude, bro. Everything, bro.
Dude, oh my God. To Uganda, and I just picked a country.
It
is US dollars, man. You can see it however you want to say it. But it is US dollars, and I understand what you're saying. I understand that, it's blah, 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 but...
So in the foreign exchange market, why are there even currency pairs? Why would any country? Why would there even be a currency pair if money isn't being exchanged?
There are countries, for example, that you cannot open a bank account and put US dollars in. For example, when I was in South Africa, you couldn't open a bank account and put US dollars in it. You couldn't. It had to be converted into South African rands.
Okay. I get that. I've been in foreign countries and put money in there.
But
before.
In Bulgaria, you can have a euro account, you can have a US dollar account, you can have
Okay.
In Peru also.
When I went to Brazil, you can go to the McDonald's, and this is when the real, their currency, was low. It was like 3-to-1 compared to the dollar. You can go to countries like this.
Oh, in Peru, you can go and pay with U.S. dollars.
And I can pay with you because they want U.S. dollars because U.S. dollars are so strong that they
but there was one condition.
They
couldn't be worn out. They had to be crisp, brand new fucking U.S. dollars, which is a great way to push fake currency too.
I get it.
Like here, if you put you take out a brand new bill, they're gonna be like, nah, I don't want that.
But in some places you can't do that. Like when I was in Barcelona, you had to use their money.
Correct.
Because
that's what currency exchanges are for.
Right. That's what currency. 100%.
What currency? I'm gonna ask AI. What currency does Uganda pay with China? Is that how you? What currency does Uganda pay China with?
Yeah.
China with for trade.
Okay.
Motherfucker, they primarily use the Chinese yuan.
Yeah.
Uganda primarily use Chinese yuan for trade with China. Exchange rate. Okay, so they do their okay. What currency does? Hold on a second. Let's see. We're gonna use another country.
Like if you said the U.S. and England, it would be the pound. Now for like a really super small place or something, like a super small country or an island or something, I could see where maybe they might do something like that. But China is too big. They want their money.
Australia primarily uses the Australian dollar for trade with China. The Australian dollar is one of the few currencies that trade directly with the Chinese yuan alongside the US dollar and Japanese yen. So,
like you go on a currency exchange,
so let's
do that.
Ask the same question about a different country now that's not. Let's figure out a country.
Dude, Japan wasn't the first one Japan?
No, I didn't ask for Japan.
No, I'm saying how we first started talking.
Peru primarily uses the US dollar for trade with China. The US dollar is the most commonly used currency for international trade. That answered your question right there. See this? Including trade between Peru and China.
I see that.
I guess when I asked about Uganda, that was an isolated case.
Yeah.
But the US dollar is primarily, and that's the reason why they have the BRICS right now.
They're trying to compete.
They're trying to get away from using the US dollar.
Yeah, and that's like turning a big boat around.
That is.
It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen, but I don't know if it's going to happen in my lifetime.
A lot of things have to happen first. I think that.
Well, the first thing did happen when they took the dollar off. There's no such thing as a petrodollar anymore. That was the first thing.
But
it's still going to take.
I'm talking about other things. I'm talking about things like.
There's going to have to be an unwinding.
You have on that. It's a political science. Political science. It's a economical alliance. Economics alliance. It's not a political alliance. What I mean by that is there's countries that are enemies.
What's the opposite of BRICS? It's called the G7 or the G8 or something.
No. G8 is part of. I mean, countries from the G8 are part of that.
But I think that's an economic grouping.
Yes, but I'm not sure what the opposite
another
is.
country just joined BRICS too.
Yeah, but then
or is the S Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia was they
I think
just
it was
announced
BRIC.
that they did.
I think it was BRIC, and now it's BRICS.
Yeah.
I think when Saudi Arabia dropped the dollar from the petrodollar, they joined BRIC.
Yeah, but Saudi Arabia has a lot of investments. Huge amount of investments.
They got a bunch that are going nowhere too.
In the United States, and those investments are in dollars. So
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, what else would it be in?
No, I'm saying all over the world. Most of them are in dollars, so it's not
because I don't even. What is their currency? Their currency isn't.
Real. No, that's their capital. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Real, also something like this. dinar. I don't know.
Dinar, maybe or
something.
that was wherever
That's
Saddam
Iraq,
Hussein was.
Iraq, Kuwait, yeah.
There were so many dudes when they were in the war that I knew, like contractor dudes, security contractors, and old military dudes. Well, not old, but military guys. They were like, "Oh, we're getting dinars because they're going to be worth something one day." I was like, "No, they're not.
They're not. They're not. They're going to be
For them to be worth something, people need to want to use them. Oh, well, as soon as America goes in there and makes the economy, I'm like, it's not going to work like that.
Yeah, you don't.
Well, because you could get 1,000,000 dinars for like so cheap.
Yeah.
Guys were going over there and. Dude, a dude told me a story. He was like, he had them all in his clothes. He was smuggling the actual notes, thinking that they're going to go up. I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen, dude. It doesn't work like that. I mean, they're still waiting.
They're not. They're not.
It's never going to happen like that. That's not how.
Maybe 300 years from now.
Maybe, but it's going to be a whole different thing. It's not going to be what it is now.
But if there are so many, then they won't be worth that much.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't think so. But anyway, man, let's call it an evening because tomorrow morning we got to be up early. And
it's just funny to me. I'm like, dude, we've been talking nonstop, and I'm like, what the fuck have we been talking about?
We did discuss a lot. We talked about.
It was a whole bunch.
We didn't take the piss out of anybody tonight. Sasha is safe.
Now we're all over the place. My sister did say in a comment that she did appreciate the variety of topics.
And that's how it should be, man. That's how it should be. Otherwise, you're watching a podcast about something.
Right.
And this is like the Seinfeld show. It's about
it was
nothing.
like the Seinfeld, right.
It's about nothing, you know. Like, if we were to sell this thing somewhere, I personally would have a very hard time describing what we do. You know.
Except having fun and making money.
Yeah, and what?
Right now we're just having fun.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when we sell it.
When we sell it to the NBC or are we gonna go with the networks or are we gonna go HBO or something?
We're definitely gonna go streaming service.
Streaming service,
that's
that's where that's 21st century.
We'll talk to Sean Conan about all that stuff.
Yeah, and Netflix. We should invite him. Probably doesn't even know we exist anymore. I haven't seen that guy in a long time.
I haven't seen him in a long time, but I miss and love him.
Yeah,
he definitely wouldn't forget about it.
We're gonna have to put the cameras up a little bit.
I would love to have him on. I know. He'll be sitting down, maybe like that. Super athletic.
Yeah, I know. Anyway. All right. Well, this is it. I don't know what else can we talk about. No, it's too late, man.
It's kind of late.
It's past midnight. We gotta be up. Remember, we have this thing tomorrow, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7:30.
As long as it's not a burden to you. Because I know it might be. Because I'm going to Pete's class tomorrow too, so.
Oh shit!
I won't feel bad. I was going to offer it, but I was like, I'm not even going to offer it. But since you brought it up, you know what? I'll do you a favor. Let's just sleep in tomorrow. Yeah. I'm going to come to Pete's at 10.
I gotta take the little one to school anyway, but I'm gonna.
We can do this next week.
I'm gonna lift after that.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I'll do Pete's at 10, and I might come.
Running the cameras on this.
It's gonna be a blooper or something.
We should have cut a long time ago.
We should have cut 2 hours ago.
we should have cut before we started.
Dude, it's so funny because like once we start talking about shit, like we'll start talking about one thing, and then when we're like 4 subjects away, I'm like, I'll think about this. And I'm like, damn, we never tied the bow on this.
There's always the next time.
And then it keeps happening. I'm like, I got 2 things to say about that, a thing to say about that, one about that. But then I'm like,
where are your notes?
I know,
But that's the thing. Remember when we said we're not gonna do notes and stuff? Yeah. So we stick to the,
I kind of like this.
Now we see the.
We'll see where it goes.
The downside of not taking notes.
I know.
But it's more fun like that, especially when there's guests, because you don't know where it's going to take you, and
I think the one thing about notes that would be cool is that because we could still do this with notes. I don't even know what the fuck I was going to say. Because I think it would still be cool with notes. It would just be a little bit more tight, but I think with the chaotic it's more human though.
Yeah,
it's
warmer. I think it's better. Yeah,
talking about all kinds of stuff.
And the best part is we said we should have cut that, but nobody watches this thing to the end anyways. Who cares? I guarantee you that right now.
Don't even
I can say fuck you to everybody and nobody will care because nobody will see it or hear it.
Like my sister joked, said something about Sasha, because you said something about Sasha last week.
Oh,
and my
yeah.
sister was like, Sasha, you better da 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 da. And I was like, that's so funny. And then I was like, oh, Sasha, I hope she doesn't take this the wrong way, because if she doesn't watch it, then I was like, she's not even going to read this.
Sasha's never taken anything the wrong way. She's always taken it the right way.
You're right.
Just today, anyway, I'm not gonna say that on camera. I did something.
Catch.
I did something to her. I did something to her. She was chasing me around with the hatchet.
That's all you gotta say.
Anyway, all right. Well, this is it. We'll see you next week.
Yep. You already
Camera
know.
2, camera 1. This camera we got. By the way, I'm gonna try and edit that with 2 cameras. We're using 2 cameras for the first time. I had one focused on Ian, we call that camera 2, and then we had the main camera that we always use that's focused on both of us. And I'm gonna try and edit it just to see, just to try and play around with it a little bit. But yeah. Anyway, I'm not a professional videographer or anything.
Yes, you are.
I'm not really professional with anything, to be honest with you. But
Me either.
jack of all trades and master of none.
Double eye crying.
But your shirt game is strong, though. I'll give you that. Your shirt game is...
Every week I stress out because I'm like out of clothes. And today I was like, I gotta stop at the store before I come here. I didn't. And I was like, man, let me just see what's in here, because I'm not trying to wear the same shirt. Right. And I was digging in my closet and I was like, oh, I haven't seen this shirt in so long. It was wrinkled. I had to take it in the shower with me to try to get the steam.
Your jeans game is strong too.
I've been wearing the same pair of jeans. Except this. I pulled this out. I was like, I haven't seen these forever.
Hey, make a stand. Make a stand.
I used to paint in these. That's why I was like
that. Was Sean Connery. He would have seen it.
I know. He would stand up and you would already see it.
There you go. That's what.
Got knee pads in these joints just in case it goes off on the street.
They're on your shins, but that's okay.
I'm trying to be artistic. I had those put on. Dude, it was so expensive. I took like 5 pairs of pants in with some patches, trying to like do my own thing. So expensive. And this is like...
For real?
Yes. Yeah. Anyway.
The jeans were expensive.
No, putting the patches on. These are just Vans blue jeans from Ross that I got like probably, like 7-8 years ago. But whenever I paint, I would paint in them. Like my little artistic
I'm surprised
stuff.
that you're wearing something from 7 or 8 years ago.
Dude.
That fits you. Because with me, it's like I've been going up and down with weight, Stuff that would fit me like 10 years ago wouldn't fit me today.
These are a little bit
But
loose
stuff that
too.
would fit me 5 years ago wouldn't fit me today either. Like I went drastically down, now I came up again.
I had the same, dude, I've worn the same size pants forever, for my entire adult life. Whenever I get a t-shirt, it's always small. Whenever I get a shirt like this, it's small. It always fits me the same way. And like pants, like usually 32.
I'm 32 as well.
Some pants like 30, but mainly 32.
I'm not gonna fit in 30, even if I suck it in my belly and just keep it there. I'm not fitting in
the pants I wear to work. They're like Jack Archer's. They're like $80 pants, just black casual type pants, and just the way they're cut like skinny, but they're stretchy.
I don't like skinny pants, man.
See, that's all. I can't wear. I feel
real.
really uncomfortable in baggy stuff.
Oh, I can't.
And when I say
skinny.
baggy, I don't like stuff that's skinny and tight around my waist. Like these, I actually should wear. Like I'd wear a belt with this if I was like wearing it during the day, because it just starts going down and I get tired of pulling it up. I used to wear skinny stuff that was super tight. I can't do that anymore, but I won't. I have to wear
Not for me, man. I can't do this. My legs need breathing room. My not only my legs, of course.
balls.
You said it.
See, I probably won't do it, but it wouldn't be weird. Like when I go home right now, I'll just take my shirt off and just go to bed and sleep in these pants. it's just so comfortable to me,
dude.
I feel like almost like I'm being held.
No, I hear you. I know what you mean, but I don't know. Not to me. Anyway,
you also have a lady at the house.
Imagine I do that.
I don't have anybody to hold me.
Oh. Anyway, we'll see you guys.